Welcome back, everyone. We are here today with a brand new case study episode here on the Cabral Concepts by popular demand. So I appreciate you giving me your feedback, letting me know that you want to learn more about at-home health testing, at-home functional medicine lab testing, and really going through some actual case studies from our practice. So that's exactly what we're going to do today. We have previous case studies that I'll be happy to link up for you. We've done one on the food sensitivity test. We did one on the minerals and metals test. We did one on a neurotransmitter test for mood. And today is going to be on hormones. So this lab, actually, you know what? I would love for you to be able to follow along. You can literally just click on the PDF if you'd like, or the image. And I'm going to link it up today at stephencabral.com/2078. So you can head on over to stephencabral.com/2078. We'll certainly show it in the video today if you're watching this on YouTube or you're watching at stephencabral.com/2078. But today's case actually just goes back just about a week ago where I meet with the Equal Life team on Mondays and Thursdays, and we go through the most difficult cases so that I'm able to give my input as well. And we've got an amazing team, and I just try to add maybe just a little bit of the icing on the cake. They're already so amazing. I just like to be able to give my perspective as well. But let me just share with you what this particular wellness client was coming in with. So when we go through their lab with them, and this one, by the way, this lab can be found at stephencabral.com/hormones-test. And I'll link that up today as well. So everything will be at episode 2078. But we get the symptoms-based questionnaire. And this person has come in with a lot of symptoms. They have aches and pains. They have ADD, ADHD. This is an adult. Let me give you their exact age as well. Of course, we're going to keep all of this confidential. But this is a female, and she's 46 years old. She is, you know what? Let's not even give the height and the weight, but she has a BMI of 30.4. So a little higher than, of course, we want between the 19 and 24.9. So 46-year-old female with a lot of symptoms going on. And I'm going to share with you exactly what's going on and how we are going to help this person so that in 12 to 16 weeks, they're going to be feeling remarkably better. So their symptoms list came in with lots of aches and pains, adult ADD, ADHD, allergies, a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of bone loss, fibrocystic breasts. We have chemical sensitivities, meaning like to certain scents and smells. A lot of fatigue all day long. Fatigue in the evening, fatigue in the morning, some fibromyalgia pain, so basically some pain throughout the body. Definitely a lot of brain fog. She's having some hair loss. She's having some headaches, some heart palpitation, a little bit of hoarseness in the voice, a little bit of hot flashes, a lot of irritability, definitely some cloudy thinking and memory lapse, mood swings, losing muscle mass and metabolism, having some PMS-based issues. Looks like she feels like there's some rapid aging going on as well. Sleep is disturbed, very little stamina, lots of stress, puffy face, feel some swelling, increased urination urge, some vaginal dryness, some water retention, and weight gain on the hips and waist. So whenever we hear all of these symptoms, and maybe you have a lot of these yourself, what you want to think about is this. We're not looking at one specific thing that's going to fix all of these things, right? So I want you to stop. I really want people to get away from the silver bullet mentality of like, oh, what's the one supplement I need? Or what's the one drug I need that's going to fix this? That is not how this works. This is essentially a multi-system dysfunction of the body. So we call it the and I've spoken about this in my book before, and I don't want to go too in-depth on it today. And I also have a previous podcast on it. So why don't I try to link that up today at episode 2078 as well. So stephencabral.com/2078. But we look at three parts. So we're looking at the neuroendoimmune system. So we're looking at how the nervous system affects the hormones, which then affects the immune system. So we have the nervous system, which is predicated on essentially the fight or flight and the parasympathetic, the rest and relax. We've got our hormones, which we're going to talk about today, and that's the estrogen and progesterone and testosterone and DHEA. And then we've got cortisol, and then we have thyroid, right? And then we have our immune system, which is kind of going to be high inflammation and low inflammation. And clearly, this person has a lot of inflammation, right? So what do? Just give some turmeric. And I think you know by now, if you've been listening to the Cabral concept for some time, that no, of course, we're not just going to use turmeric or some ginger, as great as they are. That's not what's going to fix this particular issue. So let me share with you now her lab results and how we will go about really rebalancing this person's body. So we ask all of the women that we work with in our practice, do they still have their menstrual cycle? And this person at 46 still does have their menstrual cycle. It's irregular, but they still have their menstrual cycle. Okay, so now we look at their labs, and when you take a look at this, and we'll try to pop it up here on the screen as well, you have to understand is that even if you don't know how to read functional medicine labs, that's okay. When you look at this person's estrogen and progesterone and testosterone and DHEA, they're all at the left side of the bar. They're on the left side of the range. That means every single one of her sex hormones is low. Every single one of them. Estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, and DHEA. And that's when you look at that, you have to understand is this person they're not going to be feeling well, right? If you have low hormones, that means you have low drive, low libido, low energy, low mood, irritability, overwhelm. That's how you're going to feel. There's no get up and go inside of your body. So this is important for us to look at, but it's also why we don't just look at these sex hormones alone, because we would say, oh, well, again, if you go to a lot of functional medicine doctors, they'll just say, oh, well, we're just going to put you on testosterone. We're just going to put you on bioidentical estrogen, put you on bioidentical progesterone, and you're going to be good to go. That is not natural health. That is not natural medicine. That is why I don't even like to say that what we're doing is functional medicine, because a lot of doctors out there now that are medical doctors are saying they practice functional medicine, but all they're doing in their practice is giving bioidentical hormones. That is not functional medicine. That is a strange form of conventional medicine that is starting to use maybe a little bit of, but it's still pharmaceutical, putting in those hormones in. So it's not natural medicine. I just want to state that. Is there a time and place for bioidentical hormones? Potentially, but not at 46 years old. That's for sure. And so what we need to look at is the deeper reason why. If someone comes in at 26, 36, 46, 56, and we see these low hormones across the board, and especially if this person's not in menopause, we say, what's causing that? So now we have more numbers to look at, which is great. So this is, again, how an integrative health practitioner, a level 2, begins to look at these labs, or a naturopathic doctor. They're trained on this as well when they go to university. So when you look at this person's cortisol, they actually have good cortisol in the morning, strong cortisol at lunch, really strong cortisol in the evening, and too much cortisol at night. So we call this more of a dysfunctional cortisol curve. That means this person's producing lots of stress hormone and way too much stress hormone at night, which means it's going to do what? All that stress hormone, this is most likely chronic, right? This isn't in the last 3 months for this individual. It's probably been a year, 2 years of chronic stress that's depleted a lot of their sex hormones. So think about it like this. If your body's in constant stress, what it does is it begins to quiet and lower the sex hormones. If your body's in a state of stress, it is not thinking about carrying on life. It is not thinking about having a strong libido or a strong drive or any of those things. What it's doing is it's dealing with the chronic stress, the survival-based state of life. And that's what this person is in right now. So the biggest issue, though, we see on this is the high cortisol at bedtime. That means even if this person is able to fall asleep, most likely they're not getting the restorative sleep they need. Not that 90 plus minutes of deep sleep, not that 2+ hours of REM sleep. So the very first thing we're doing to help this person is fixing that cortisol at night. That's the very first thing we're doing. And we're going to be using our sleep help protocol along with the adrenal soothe. And that includes the full spectrum magnesium as well. But there's more. So let's go a little bit deeper. Okay, the second part is their thyroid. So we're looking at their free T4. Theirs is a 2.0, which is great. Really, there's nothing wrong with the 2.0. We want it somewhere between like a 1.5 and a 2.25, 1.5 and 2. So that's great. And then their free T3, that we actually want between a 3 and a 4. And theirs is a 2.9. So it's slightly low. That means they're having a conversion issue with actual usable T3. And we know that because if we look at their TSH, which is next on this lab, it's a 2.2. And we know that an ideal thyroid stimulating hormone, that's TSH, is not anywhere between 0.5 and 5, like a lot of medical doctors will say, because that's what it says in the lab, right? An ideal TSH is 0.5 to 2. So this person's a 2.2. So that's why seeing an integrative health practitioner, seeing a naturopathic doctor, someone that specializes in this, they'll be able to share with you, your thyroid, it looks okay, but it's not optimal. And because of that, your metabolism is not going to be optimal. This person had hair loss, they had weight gain, they had poor circulation, they had cloudy thinking. All of that can be from the high cortisol that we saw and this suboptimal thyroid. So what are we going to do here? Well, first we need to fix the stress part of it. There's no doubt about that. So we'll go over that. Let's go over that now. So this is what we're going to do. There's a few more markers in this lab, and that's the insulin and the hemoglobin A1C, which were okay. So what we want to look at is this. This person, first and foremost, it's not just about nutritional supplements. Nutritional supplements and food will heal the body the fastest because what it's doing is it's replacing the deficiencies in the body as fast as humanly possible, right? And you can also help to take out the toxicities. But what this person also needs is a lifestyle factor. We don't know what's going on in this person's life. Divorce, sick family member, difficult job, financial issues. So what we need to do is to say, listen, the stress of life right now from whatever is going on is beginning, we see it now, to deteriorate your body. It's deteriorated your hormones. It's dropped your sex hormones. It's show high levels of cortisol. It's beginning to weaken your metabolism by lowering your overall optimal thyroid levels. Here's what we need to do. For right now, we need to work on whatever those calming things are in life. Now, it might be some type of therapy, counseling. It could be doing meditation. It could be going for a walk. It could be picking up a new exercise program, something you would enjoy doing that's going to calm your body. Reading, picking up a new hobby, anything that can begin to calm that sympathetic nervous system. We also need to get you to sleep at least with the normal regular bedtime, somewhere at 10 p.m. at night to 6 in the morning, something like that, getting in good sleep. And we need to make sure that we fix that sleep at night so that you get in that deep sleep. So something like the sleep help protocol, using 1 adrenal soothe at lunch, 2 adrenal soothe at dinner, 1 full spectrum magnesium at lunch, 2 full spectrum magnesium at dinner most likely, and then most likely some liquid melatonin before bed. And you can taper off the liquid melatonin after 3 weeks or so, as long as the body is getting those deeper levels of sleep. You can track your sleep with, my favorite device for tracking sleep for sure is the Oura Ring. You can track your deep sleep that way, and you can track your REM that way as well as your HRV. If your heart rate variability begins to increase over a period of weeks and months, well, most likely those sex hormones then are beginning to come back as well. So that's a great thing too. Now, in terms of thyroid, we'll most likely be using 2 daily thyroid support with breakfast, 2 daily thyroid support with dinner. Of course, we're going to be doing our daily foundational protocol, getting in those omega-3s every day, the daily nutritional support shake every day, which is all your vitamins, all your minerals. It contains a full B complex. If this person's super stressed, we might do an extra activated B complex at lunch and 1 at dinner. Let me think what else we may do for this person. That's going to be a pretty solid plan right there. That vitamin D, of course, I would do vitamin D. That will just be 4,000 IUs per day for the average person if they are not already taking vitamin D and we haven't already tested those levels. And then just looking back at their overall hair loss and their overall muscle loss. So if I were to add one more product, I would most likely be using the advanced collagen support. And I would just do 1 scoop in their AM smoothie with their daily nutritional support and their daily fruit and vegetable blend powder. That's what I would be doing. So again, I'd be focused on lifestyle. I would be focused on stress. I'd be focused on sleep. I would work on calming the central nervous system through the adrenal-based products that I spoke about and the magnesium. I would be working on the thyroid as well, just to give a boost to metabolism to help clear some of that brain fog as well. And then for this individual, depending on what their hormones felt like as well, symptomatically, I would most likely be using 1 DHEA, 5 milligrams upon waking or at breakfast, and then 1 at lunch or mid-afternoon as well. And that DHEA would just be used for about 12 to 16 weeks to give all of those sex hormones a bit of a boost. So as long as they didn't have any estrogen dominance that they were feeling, meaning like acne or oily skin or I would say increased irritability during a certain part of their cycle, I would feel very comfortable adding in a little bit of that DHEA in the interim. So for the first 12 to 16 weeks, as then we're calming that sympathetic nervous system stress. So that's the full protocol. Again, is everyone going to complete that? Well, we hope that they will, because then we're going to be replacing those deficiencies, giving the body back a lot of life right away, and then we can begin to taper many of those things after 16 weeks. And then, of course, we would retest that same test, and you could do it at stephencabral.com/hormones-test, and you'd be able to see your improvement, and then we'd be able to taper products where we already saw improvement, and then make any additional tweaks to dosages as needed. So that's just a little insight into how we work with clients one-on-one. That's how all IHP level 2s work with clients one-on-one. And just the bigger thing is just to understand that this is what I did in order to get well. 25 years ago, I had a doctor take me through this same exact test and a few others in order to figure out what was wrong with me. Then I began the process to replace my deficiencies, to calm that sympathetic nervous system stress, to remove my toxicities, and that is how I began to heal. And it's my mission to simply share with you that anyone can do this, that there is not mystery to this, that there is not magic to this, and that I invite you to start to become a part of this process, and that you can take back control of your own health. You get a plan just like the one I just described to you every time you complete a lab over at equa.life. And all the labs you can find for yourself, whether it's gut-based, omega-3s, food sensitivities, etc., they're at stephencabral.com/labs. That will send you over to our full lab page. Hopefully this was helpful. Definitely make sure you downloaded the lab, reviewed it. They're absolutely phenomenal. They really are. I mean, they are life-changing. And please let me know how you enjoyed this. Let me know if this was helpful. Let me know if I should have gone in more depth and what more I could do, of course, to help. Remember, I can't list the nutritional supplements on the podcast page because it is against FDA and FTC guidelines. So just letting people know, we don't diagnose, we don't treat, we don't provide medical advice. We're helping people to rebalance their body from a deeper underlying root causal level. Thank you so much, everyone. I appreciate you. Please do feel free to share this show with anyone else you believe it could serve.